In this video, I talked to a coin dealer who started dealing about 5 years ago. His name is Chris.
I still get the same feeling when I get a really nice coin as I did back then.
And we ended up talking about how he actually got into the industry. He laid out some of the pitfalls that he fell into while learning how to become a dealer.
The first 30 years I was collecting, I was overpaying all the way along, so.
And I think he touched on some pretty valuable topics that are applicable to everybody, even if you're not trying to become a dealer.
I value my reputation and my name above everything.
So get a snack, hit subscribe, and let's get into the interview.
We're at PAN 2025 Spring Convention. I'm from Rochester, Michigan.
So how long have you been working in the coin industry?
Probably I've been a full-time dealer for about 5 years.
Do you remember what that moment was like when you realized that this was going to be your career?
Well, it was kind of exhilarating and kind of frustrating at the same time, and it was tough in the beginning because I was enthusiastic, I was excited, but I didn't have all the knowledge and information. So certainly in the beginning, I had the collector mindset, so I overpaid in the very beginning, and the first 30 years I was collecting, I was overpaying all the way along. So I still get the same feeling when I get a really nice coin as I did back then. But it's just, most coins don't move my needle. But if you get a nice seated dollar that's new, and you're like, man, how did this survive for hundreds of years and still be in this condition? It's just, it's a true find.
And at a certain point, I feel like once you're dealing for a while, you kind of get numb to some of the cool stuff.
To common stuff just becomes, it's a nice piece dollar. Say BU, brilliant uncirculated, nice strike, not a whole lot of chatter, but if it's a common year, it's kind of like, you know, it's just kind of blah. But the premiums are really low right now. You know, you can buy really nice coins for not too much money. There's not a lot of premium compared to a few years ago. You're paying more for spot. Spot's higher than it was. But when you add the spot and the premium part of the formula is as low as I've ever seen it in 30 years.
I mean, especially for gold.
Gold, I can buy pre-33 gold in holders for close to spot, even below spot in some cases. Already holdered, NGC, PCGS. It's like, it's putting a lot of pressure on the market. People that have made a good decision to invest in gold and silver years ago are now seeing the profit potential of just selling those coins and just spending the money again. And that community has put a lot of pressure on the premiums because there's just an insatiable retail demand for money. You know, it's just never ending. You know, perfect example, I this last week before the show, I probably bought from the public $50,000 to $100,000 worth of material. It's good to be buying from the public, but then you gotta deal with the lag of turning that gold back, or gold or silver back into currency so you can replace it. So it's just like this constant cycle. You know, I can never catch up or get ahead of it, because as soon as I get cash in my pocket, then I gotta spend the cash so that I have, you know, the next show, that I can have a good show the next show. So it's but it's fun. It's a labor of love, and I put a lot of miles on my car every year chasing coins, that's for sure.
Were you a collector previously?
Yeah, I've been collecting ever since I've been like 5 or 6. I started collecting with my grandpa when I was real little. On nice days we'd go out and fish because he had a boat. But if it was cloudy and rainy, we'd search through 90 and try to search through bank rolls. This was like the 70s, early 80s. So there was still some 90% silver that the bank was handing out. And on a crappy day, we would just buy bank rolls and search through them and replace those silver quarters with just clad quarters and take the roll back to the bank, do it all over again. So back in the 80s, you could still find a lot. You know, it was still a lot of it.
Now it's like one every box maybe.
I can tell you, I haven't searched bank rolls in 15 years, just because it's time value, you know, relationship. It's like you spend 3 hours searching through bank rolls and you find, you know, it's the law of diminishing returns. There's been a lot of people, probably chances are, that have searched that roll over the years. So I don't think it's really time well spent these days. But back in the 70s and 80s, a thing.
Good pickings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you remember, was there a specific coin that made you fall in love with the hobby?
Yeah, Mercury dimes.
Mercury dimes.
Yeah,
That's my favorite
yeah.
too.
I love Mercury dimes. I was excited when I was a paper boy and somebody didn't have paper money in their pocket and they had to like go in and grab a thing of change
Yeah.
and pay with that because the newspaper was $1.65 for the whole week delivered for $1.65. I loved it when they would have to go in and grab from the change jar because chances are that had been sitting on their dresser drawer for a long time.
Yeah.
And there was a high probability of them grabbing. If they didn't look at it, there was going to be some 90% mixed in.
Yeah.
And I would swap that quarter out. I would save them, and I would ride my bike up to the local coin store, and I'd get five times my money at that time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Five, you get a quarter, sell it for $1.25.
Yeah.
It was worth it to me if I could save up, $2 or $3 to in 90.
Yeah.
Drive down there, and then I could get my baseball cards or whatever. Waste
like
the money.
making a tip.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, yeah, that's what kind of allure of what brought me into it.
So you've been a dealer for 5 years now.
Yeah, full-time dealer for 5 years.
What was that process like from transitioning from a collector to a dealer?
It was a huge learning curve. I mean, you have to be hyper-focused on the actual coins. There's a lot of landmines out there that you can hit.
Sure.
And now, after decades of collecting, I had to face those mistakes of my past and just put a number on it. It doesn't matter what I paid for it, it matters what it's worth.
Yeah.
And I used my collection to kind of start this little endeavor.
What were like the first pieces that you had that were like, I'm gonna sell these?
Yeah, no, I had a complete collection of Mercury dimes, so I had 16D and a 42 over 41 that were, nice. The key dates of my collection were the first to go. The 09 SVDB penny, the 16D dime, just the ones that everybody needs.
Right.
14D Lincoln is a better date if it's nice, So I sold the keys of all my collections probably way too cheap in the beginning because dealers came over and bought them.
Yeah.
So that tells me, I probably sold them too cheap, but hey, you live and you learn. A wise old dealer once told me, if you're not losing money on a coin every once in a while, you're not buying enough. And that's, he's passed away now, but it's good advice.
What are some of those pitfalls that you kind of have noticed throughout the first 5 years that maybe people should look out for?
Buy from the right people. A good tell is if you're at a show and you see a bunch of dealers that you recognize that dealers and they're all hovering around the same kind of, that should be a clue to you. Buy from reputable people that will stand behind what they sell. If you buy a coin from me, I value my reputation and my name above everything. I would rather lose money on a coin than have somebody ticked off at me, walks away, and then says something derogatory. Reputation is everything. You have to be, pride in your name in this industry is a good thing. Having too much pride is a bad thing, but you want your reputation as good as gold in this business because you put decades into building your name and you can trash that name in a single transaction. Buy with somebody who's going to be there to buy it back from you when you want to sell. If you buy some from eBay or whatever, they don't have to go back to the show and deal with you.
Right. They don't have to
They can, just send an email or, back and forth. You want to deal business with somebody who's going to be there, 10 years down the road.
I think everybody has noticed an increase in like online material about coins. Coins that are supposedly worth millions of dollars for whatever reason. Can you speak to somebody who doesn't really know anything about coins, thinks they might have something that's worth money? What should they do before bringing that coin to a dealer?
Well, don't use the apps like the take a picture of your coin. Those things are crap. It's just going to be a waste of time. There's a lot of scams out there and a lot of scammers that are just trying to get your bank information.
Yeah.
So they put these coins out that are worth a bunch of money because they just want to get to your information. Oh, well, I have one of those coins. Well, we'll buy them at this. Just give us your bank account information. And so if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If it's a penny, there's a few valuable pennies. 09 SVDB is valuable, but from the 40s or 50s, it's just, maybe it's worth 2 cents, 2-3 cents. There's some really bad misinformation. I'm in coin shops every day of the week, and I'm continuously amazed at the amount of phone calls that they have about stuff off the internet, just like quarters, no S quarter. Go to a good resource. ANA has excellent information. Go to a reputable place to get the real information. Call somebody off the ANA dealer list or PAN. There's resources out there better than the internet to determine the value of a coin. So if you go to a good dealer, he'll help point you in the right direction. And there's a lot of misinformation on these coin identification apps.
And a lot of them, we found out it's literally just ChatGPT.
I have not seen one of them that's actually, because I've tried a couple of them, and I take a picture of just regular change, and it's like...
I mean, if it did work, we would be using it all the time.
Every dealer in this room would be using it if it was a good tool.
Right.
But Graysheet is a great resource for information and current auction results, and I look at it every single day. There's all different information points that I use to kind of see the trends and the change in trends, and just so I can help steer my customers to what they want and help them accomplish their goals of, not paying too much. Because, the way you really assure your profit is when you buy it. Depending on that. You're going to make money or lose money based on the difference in metal. So, you just don't want to tie up your money in premium. I don't mind tying my money up into gold and silver, but I dang sure don't like to tie it up into just premium, extra premium. Because in a pinch, when you need the money, you're just going to sell it. And you take whatever you can get for it. You're not counting on any premium when you sell. Most cases. There's times when the market, people can sell stuff and make money on the premium, but the premiums change very, very quickly. One day can make a huge difference between you can buy this item for 2% or you can buy this item for spot. That can change, 2% can change in one day in premiums. So very, very volatile premiums.
I give you $100,000 right now to build a collection from scratch. What are the first 3 coins in that collection?
First 3 coins in the collection. Well, it's definitely going to be pre-33 graded gold. There's no premium. I can't believe how cheap graded gold is right now. It's kind of ridiculous. So I think that is the best. Pick a series that you like in pre-33 and have at it. 20s and 10s and 5s are really cheap. Now the $1 pieces and the 2.5s, there's more premium in there above the gold. But I think if you could build a nice Indian set, you could really, $10 Indian set, or you could do it reasonably, not tie up a lot of money in premium right now. So I think it's a short series that you could probably complete that series for about $100,000, I think.
All right. Do you have anything in your booth that you're super excited you have here you want to show off?
This is a proof-seeded dime from the 1800s. And you can see the kind of tone on it. It's got a beautiful tone. This thing was in an album for years, and the albums had sulfur in the paper, which toned the coins. People pay big money for beautifully toned coins. So this is just something that's old and it's rare.
And it's in the old soapbox holder, which is awesome. So I bought that a couple of weeks ago, for this show, because Pennsylvania is a coin market. You can sell coins. So that's why I bring my rare stuff here, because
you know, this is one of the best markets for it.
This is where
you know.
coins started, pretty much.
Yep, for sure. So this is a great coin market. So I keep coming back and making the drive. So.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No, I appreciate everybody's time, and like I said, just to kind of recap, you know, just deal with reputable people, and don't pay too much for coins. Know what the market is, and you can enjoy this hobby for a long time. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Chris,
appreciate it.
absolute pleasure.
Yeah.